I like it. It gets me going.
Welcome to the Watch Me Grow podcast with your host, the founder of the yoga joint, Paige Held.
They're clapping for us.
I love that.
That's good stuff.
Thank you. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Watch Me Grow. I'm Paige, and I am joined today by Hugh. Hugh is a friend first, and he's my chiropractor. I have a few chiropractors, so I want to make sure I say that. You see me go something. He is my only massage therapist. And the best part about having your chiropractor as your massage therapist is that after your massage, you get an adjustment. So that is something that my other chiropractors do not do. And that's like...
There's a lot of benefits to knowing Hugh.
And trainer.
I was going to say...
And part-time trainer.
And full-time comedian entertainment. Thank you.
That's for sure. So I do personal training with him at the gym, and he comes to my classes all the time, and I'm so happy to have you on the podcast.
I appreciate it. I loved being here.
Yes. So you can't really see the adonis of what this man is, and I wish I could parade him a little bit, but you're just gonna have to come to my class if you want to see that. But this man is an adonis. And will you tell everybody how old you are?
I am 59 years old, turned 59 November a couple months ago.
A couple months ago, he turned 59. So when he tells people he's 59, they pretty much fall off the chair. And the thing about Hugh is that he's very humble. People look at you and they immediately think, oh, he's a douche. He's a prick. He's a...
I mean, they're not that wrong.
It's true. It's true. All my life, everybody looks at the shell.
Yes.
And basically doesn't dig under the hood to basically see the development of my character. It's just, the perception is everybody's reality.
They're just like, oh my God, that guy is so hot. And that's it. And then they put you in a box. So I'd like to say people have done that to me my whole life as well.
You guys have something in common, so that's good. I have no idea what that's like, but I'm happy for you guys. He's a ridiculously good-looking guy. When he said he was 59, I'm like, holy fuck, good for you.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is there's another guy in the world that looks just like him.
Yeah. Oh my God, he has a twin brother.
Yeah,
Identical twin.
Identical twin.
When I first met you guys, I was like, holy shit, there's two of them?
I asked them the same thing. I go, when you guys go out, are people just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Oh my God. We used to put on the biggest shows and clinics with... because I grew up in LA for 53 years in Beverly Hills, and it was pretty interesting.
So before we get too deep into it, I just want to acknowledge like your family and everything that's going on in California. How are you? I know your family's there.
My twin brother lives in Newport Beach, which is about an hour from West LA where the fires are. He's fine. His wife is fine. The kid's fine.
Okay, good.
But I've known about 1,000 people that have either lost their homes or evacuated. It's just a war zone out there.
It is. It's catastrophic.
So
I just got the
crazy.
chills.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And I'm like actually sweating. I don't know if I'm having
I
a
was
hot
literally
flash
just on the phone with my cousin, with Scott.
He lives in Brentwood, but he's evacuated.
And they were
there.
they were in San Diego until last night, and they came back last night. Now he told me they have no power, and they might not have power for months.
Yeah.
They're evidently on a grid with somebody part of Palisades, and if there's burnt down houses and they turn the electricity back on, it could spark another fire. So they're saying they don't know, it's indefinite, the power's off until they don't know when.
So what are they going to do?
He just called and said, listen, if you have anybody that has jobs or needs me to do anything.
Okay.
I mean, he's ex-Navy SEAL, college graduate and MBA. And I'm like, he can come home and get a job.
He's been acting out there. That's why he's been out there.
20 years.
I think everybody's going to start moving out here.
I think so.
That would be great. I would love for them to come here.
I know, me too.
Would you love it if your brother was here?
Oh my God.
He was here for a while,
I would love it. He was here for 2 years.
Yeah.
He had to go back.
He's a chiropractor too?
Trainer, chiro, everything what I do.
I thought so.
Yeah, so basically he had a kid and he had to go back. His wife was there, so.
Yeah. So anyways, we're praying for all of you guys.
It's just crazy.
Absolutely catastrophic. So going back to Hugh and his adonis of a human, he's just as kind as he is good looking. So I just love
really
that.
Is, yeah.
Hugh and I have been friends for, I want to say like 5-6 years.
I started going to yoga joint when I first landed here about 5-6 years ago on 17th Street.
Yeah.
And I met you. You were teaching, and I took a couple years off during COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm back full force.
Yeah. And sorry, everybody, Hugh is taken. And I absolutely am obsessed with his other half, Lauren.
Yeah, she's great.
So great and so sweet. And I've been friends with Hugh for the past 5 to 6 years. And this is by far like my favorite girlfriend of yours. She's so great.
Her nickname is the Corn Dog because she's my unicorn and she's my dog. So
I love that.
That's her nickname, Corn Dog.
Corn Dog. She's so adorable. She's so adorable. So I'm happy you're on the podcast. I wanted to talk about Chiro stuff. I wanted to talk about some personal training stuff. I wanted to just get your perspective on tech neck and what we're all doing to ourselves, looking down so much. And I wanted you to explain, we can start there with the tech neck. I was telling Chan today, you guys were both in my class this morning in Fit. The girl next to me, she was struggling so much with all the upper body stuff. Lower body stuff, no. And then I see people struggle with it, and I know I struggle with it. When I'm working regularly with you and with my other chiropractor, I'm definitely, I don't feel it as much, but I've been sitting a lot for work because we're getting ready to open up Coral Gables. And in class, I said something about tech neck. And then after, she was like, oh my God, like I need your chiropractor. My neck, she sits. So she's like, I've been on my computer since 6 o'clock this morning. She leaves for 45 minutes to work out, to do Fit at 9:30. Then she goes back and she sits as she works from home. She's in some sort of marketing. And she says, I will work, and she's young, so she's trying to get her foot in the door. She's like, I will sit for 8, 10, 12 hours. And I'm like, oh my God. She goes, even my watch tells me stand up, I'll stand up. But she's like, what is tech neck? I've never heard of this. And so can you explain a little bit about what's happening?
Basically, the epidemic of people looking flexion, chin to your chest, that's called flexion. That's basically forcing the normal curve, the lordotic curve, the wrong way. So you're forcing it the wrong way for 8 hours. What does that do? It puts the head forward, called forward head posture. So every inch you carry your head forward, 10 more pounds of pressures on your disc spaces.
Is it really 10 pounds?
10 pounds every inch.
What?
Crazy.
Every inch. So the epidemic, chiropractors and neurosurgeons are getting rich because of these devices, because all day these people are looking down, and it's a huge epidemic. It's horrible.
And because our bodies are so adaptable, whether the pendulum is swinging from one way to another, we are adaptable. So is it that we just continue to look down, so the body's like, okay, that's what we're doing, we're just going to grow that way, like this, like, is it called kyphosis? Like,
that's very interesting. Yeah, it's called kyphosis. So you have 3 curves in your spine: lordotic curves, which is the neck and the low back, and the kyphotic curve, which is your thoracic mid back.
Okay.
So yeah, over time, the lordotic curve is going to start being kyphotic because of all that flexion.
Wow.
So, but still, anatomically, physiologically, you got to get that neck back into a lordotic curve because of the compression of the disc spaces, or by 30, 40 years old, you're going to be a surgical candidate. You're going to have disc bulges, arthritis, degeneration. And once you have that, once those symptoms start, it's so hard to get in front of symptoms.
So do you have suggestions for people? So I obviously understand it's the way of the future. We have to sit and work. We have to make money. We have to be on our computers. I know, like, my brother, he has one that like sits up, so he's kind of like this. But even this, like, isn't this like, even this motion constantly, like, is there anything that we can be doing?
At the end of the day, life is all about repetition, repetitive. Every movement we do is repetitive. Those are called micro traumas. So if you do something little every single day, like if you tap your hand with your finger 100 times, it's not going to do anything. But if you tap it 1,000 times a day, every day, every week, every month, eventually it's going to get bruised. Your finger's going to get tendonitis. So everything is repetitive syndromes. I don't know I don't know how to, combat
Yeah,
it.
That's
especially now.
the ergonomics. That's one way that they have to do, like the desk and the chairs and that kind of stuff. But even then, if you don't set it up the right way, people I get so worried seeing our kids because our kids are like this.
Yep.
And you
my
just
God,
see it
it's
all,
so
and they
bad.
stay like that for hours.
100%. When I go to restaurants or anywhere in the public and I see a kid doing that, I don't care give a shit if a mother and father is there. I physically pick up their phone so they follow the phone, and these mother and father
You
look at
did
me
that
like
with
I'm a-
Taylor when we came to your house for a treatment one time,
Yeah.
the first time, and
Yeah.
you're like, she was here, and you're like, do it here.
Because I cannot stand those fresh young spines.
It's terrible to see.
Getting degenerated. They have 50-year-old spines at 20.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. So Keegan Roper is one of our best friends, and he's also a chiropractor, and I go to him as well. And he says that he gets 17-year-olds in there that have spines of 50-year-olds. I go, there's no
100%.
way.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're exaggerating. There's no way. And he's like, yeah, now you're saying it. And it's just wild. So the other day I was at the nail salon, and this girl, I had to like stare at her for a couple moments because I couldn't even comprehend what I was seeing. So I'm going to move my mic a little bit. But she was getting her nails done, and she had her phone on her lap. Her legs are down, and she was like this. And I am not shitting you guys. She stayed like that the entire manicure.
Oh my God.
And I was thinking my neck would fall off.
Yeah.
Like I would be in so much pain because
Yeah.
I'm so sensitive to it.
And nobody understands once you have disc bulges and it starts impinging on those nerve roots, nobody understands until they have it. The nerve pain, the radiculopathy down the arms, and numbness and tingling.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
I've had it, yeah.
I have this. And it's so much better with working out, with massage, with chiropractic. It is better, but my MRI shows that I have like narrowing of the canal. And I will say, before we really started to expand in Yoga Joint, I never had to sit. But now I do go to an office, and I have a home office, and I sit every day for hours sometimes. And that part definitely blows. I said it in class today.
I heard that.
I hate that part, but it's a necessary evil of my job.
Yeah.
But the people that literally have to sit from this girl, like 6 a.m, she takes a break, and then she says she'll walk her dog, but that's not enough. I mean,
Are those
that's
standing desk thing? Are they good to have?
yeah, like walking.
The standing desks or the sitting on those Swiss balls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it forcefully, consciously makes you,
like this.
externally rotate your shoulders, tuck in your abs, and just really consciously think about where your posture, your position, everything. So the worst thing is sitting.
Yeah.
Sitting is worse than smoking.
Yeah, I've heard that too,
proved it.
right? Like on TikTok, it's like sitting is the new smoking.
Is the new
this is the new
smoking.
thing.
Can someone, like an old person who might have lost a lot of weight and might be 54 years old, can someone
not old.
change their posture by literally trying to change their posture?
100%, because when you externally rotate and extend back, you're engaging all your core muscles, engaging everything in your trunk. So again, repetitive, anything repetitive, you'll get results from, or flexion, results of degeneration.
So sometimes when my neck is bothering me, when my home office is not really a home office, I have a desk in my room. You've seen it. So my bed is right there. So after a few hours, sometimes I'll lay in bed and I'll just let my head go. Is that good?
It's the best.
okay.
Extension is your best friend.
Okay.
Flexion is your worst, the devil.
Really?
So yeah, hanging your head back, putting your chin, lifting your head back, anything with extension for your neck and low back is the best for it.
Do you find that, because when did you first go to chiropractic school? How many years ago? Was it in the 80s?
I graduated in the late 90s. I was a pro baseball player. I played 3 years. I made it to the AAA level, the San Diego
Nice.
Padres, and then I had a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that shattered my mouth. I almost died at home plate.
Whoa.
And I was never the same hitter. And I was like 80% of my soul died because that's all I've ever wanted to be was a pro baseball player. So I had to decide, I have 70 years in front of me. What do you want to be? So I tried acting and modeling. I got some work. It wasn't my passion. So other than hitting a baseball or shooting a basketball or throwing a football, I love helping people and the human body. Just like you, Channing, you're a doctor. The human body intrigues the fuck out of me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go to medical school for 21 million years. So I knew I could get a doctor of chiropractic in 4 years, and it was hard. But, I loved it.
Then did your brother say, I'll do it with you? Or did
he was in the same boat? He played for the Oakland A's, and he had the Canseco brothers, Jose and Ozzie, in front of him. So he got cut, and we were at the same place at the same time, so we went to school together.
Cool.
That is great.
We cheated on with each other.
So cool.
It was a good time.
I love that.
It was a good time.
So how many years was that? So that's the late 90s, and we're okay, so I can't even do that math.
25 years or something.
25 years. So in 25 years, are the issues that people come to you different than they were 25 years ago because of the nature of where our society has gone?
That's a great question. Yeah, probably 80% of people's issues are above the neck.
Wow.
Neck, migraine. Because once you have neck issues, you get headaches, you get allergies, you get sinus problems, you get a lot of symptoms, that all those nerve roots control everything above the neck.
So when the kids were babies, I used to take them to get chiropractic, and people around me were like, you're insane. And I'd be like, no, they have a cold. I'm just going to go get them adjusted.
I love that.
Keegan adjusted Michael when he was in the NICU for 10 days. He was like 11 days old, and he adjusted him.
It's amazing.
And then I used to get it done every week with both of them. And neither of them, and they still get adjustments. You adjust them. And knock on wood, they just have been so healthy all these years, and neither of them have ever been on antibiotics.
There you go. And they look like matinee idols on top of it,
Thank you. And they're 21 and almost 18. And I know a lot of it. Can you explain a little bit to the audience what chiropractic is?
Great question.
If you don't even know.
I love that. People think getting adjusted is for your bones or for your muscle. No. To me, an adjustment is relieving a subluxation. A subluxation is a bone that's out of place, which most of the time it's a vertebra. And if it's impinging on a nerve root, where's that nerve root connected to? To the spine. So your nervous system is housed in the spine. So if you're getting interference in your spinal cord, you can't send signals out to whatever it's innervating. So what an adjustment does is it's like pulling a plug out of the wall, like a computer, rebooting it, the plug back in the wall, and the computer reboots. It's exactly to me, rebooting your nervous system.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah. And why I never understood, and you might not even know this, but you might not know this answer, but I've never understood why people don't take chiropractic seriously. It was always made so much sense to me. I didn't know much about chiropractic growing up because my parents didn't send us to a chiropractor, but a girlfriend of mine from high school, her name's Chelsea O'Day. Her mom was like really, like back then is what we thought was like hippie, but it's not. It's like how I am, I guess. I don't know if you still say that, but she was into all of this kind of stuff. And so,
holistic.
Yeah, holistic. And when we were younger, not that many people were. I mean, in California it was, but not here in South Florida yet. So I think I was 16, 17 when I went to my first chiropractor. It was this guy who used to give free chiropractic. You could just donate. And he was in Victoria Park. And I used to go to him, and I just would feel so much better just energetically. I just felt like just a clearing. And I was in the yoga world at 16. So I found through them and through my friend in high school. And I just remember getting flack, like people being like, oh, it's hokey. I'm like, I don't understand, it's hokey. Like, why is it hokey? You're adjusting.
Because as you know, Shannon, I know you're a medical doctor, but most people want that instant gratification.
Right.
I have pain, I have symptoms, please
take a pill.
Give me a pill. instead of getting adjusted and really understanding what's going on in your body. Because most chiropractors, the adjustment is nowadays about 30% of it. It's strengthening the right way. It's the ergonomics. It's the posture. It's the modalities. It's the decompression of the spine. There's so much more. Back in the old days, it was just crack. Yeah, you're not going to crack my neck. You're going to break. I heard that a million times.
Oh my God.
Don't crack my neck. You're going to break my neck. Do you understand how hard it is to hurt somebody's neck on an adjustment? It's almost 1 in a zillion. You have more of a chance of hurting your neck in a hair bowl with your head extended and somebody washing your hair versus getting a chiropractic adjustment.
What's your? Oh, sorry, babe.
No, I was going to say, I think like from the medical community, for whatever reason, I hear what you used to say, like what you said that people used to say to you. It's like it's hokey and whatever, but I've always had such good experiences with it as well.
Yeah.
But for me, it seems to be like people that don't understand it and just say, oh, it's hokey and whatever. But also that if there's bad actors in that community, someone uses that as an example rather than somebody like him that's doing the right thing.
Right.
But I think it's a combination of all that. And a lot of people just mock what they don't understand.
Right.
Which is bizarre to me too. It's like, if you're going to try it and something works, who cares what it is? If it works and it's consistent and repeatable, then it's
when the
good for you.
kids would have ear infections, I wouldn't put them on antibiotics. I would get them adjusted.
100%.
And it would just like that. It would get better.
Yeah.
Just because of something with that. So what do you have like a crazy, because I was going to, when you were talking about people saying, oh my God, my neck, don't break my neck. Like, what's like, do you have like off the cusp, like a crazy story of somebody just with a crazy.
Okay, this is a crazy story.
What's your crazy chiropractic story?
It's a little X-rated.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just moms, dads, caretakers.
We have the E rating.
If
so
you
can
have
say whatever
children,
you want.
but let's warn them. Like, this is where you can turn it off or
Trust me,
press
there's
pause.
no kids nowadays that haven't heard words. I mean, it's bizarre.
If they're like driving in the car and they have like a little
Okay,
one,
3, 2,
we don't
1.
even know what he's gonna say.
Okay, this woman came in. I was sitting at my desk. My front office girl, took her into my office. I was doing her consultation, her history and everything. And she was complaining of TMJ, more like lockjaw. And I asked her what she does for a living. And she goes, I'm in the adult film industry. And I go, okay, so like what was the mechanism of injury? Like how did you hurt your jaw? And she goes, Doc, I did a train yesterday. I said, I don't know what a train is. Well, I had to give about 8 hours of oral sex.
Oh.
And I said, well, this is an easy fix. Close your mouth for the next 3 or 4 days. Change your profession. You're not going to have lockjaw and TMJ anymore. And I didn't take her insurance. She just left. But that was probably the most bizarre thing as far as like any type of injuries or anything I've ever seen. I've been in practice for 25 years with my brother. I don't think I've ever seen anything out of the norm as far as any accidents or injuries or anything from.
So most people are going in for car accidents. That's a big one.
Not for me. In Florida, that's the scene.
Yeah, that's one of the other things about that is
Bingo.
that they
Bingo. In where I practice, I love how you brought that up. In where I practiced in Beverly Hills, my practice was all about family practice, sports injuries, getting back on the field. When I moved to Florida 5 years ago, I couldn't believe every billboard and every commercial is personal injury.
Yeah.
And it's ambulance chasing. And chiropractors in Florida are in bed with personal injury attorneys. It's all they do is PI here.
I didn't realize that until just now because the chiropractors that I work with, Zach, Keegan, and Dr. G, none of them.
It's family.
Yeah, it's all family, and Zach's concierge, and Dr. G I've talked to you about Dr. G before. His is super different. It's called the BEST technique, BEST, and it stands for like biofeedback something. I'd have to Google it. And wait, are you cold? Is that what is happening right now? A little bit. I am profusely sweating.
No body fat.
Are you cold? Are you hot?
Perfect.
I'm like hot flashing. I'm like fucking sweating.
You both have your sweatshirts on.
Profusely down, like the backs of my legs. I'm like, what is happening? Why is it so hot in here? But
I was trying to do it quietly and not draw attention to myself. So I muted my microphone. I moved.
I know, I
everything,
saw that.
And then you call me out.
Well, because I'm like, what is happening? Channing is cold all the time now because he lost all that weight. And I used to be cold all the time, but now because of my age, I'm smacking menopause right in its face, or it's smacking me, and I am not ever cold. Ever. It's like actually so annoying.
You're like a heat factory now.
Literally, I'm a heat factory. Anywho, going back, what were we even saying?
The best technique.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Dr. G.
Yeah.
See, you can't ask him and I what we were saying because him and I, look at his face.
And
I was rewinding in my head. I'm like, what did she just say?
And
because you don't pay attention to me.
And another thing about manual therapy, healing people with your hands. I think so many people are starved for human touch.
Yes.
They don't get touched by their husbands or wives or boyfriends and girlfriends. There's something so powerful in human touch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why before I adjust people, I love giving them deep tissue, not only to loosen in the circulation and dilation and everything, but they love somebody. Oh my God, he's touching me. That means he cares about me. It's like, doctors, here's a pill. I'll see you in 3 weeks. There's no closeness in that.
Yeah, that's so true. I never really thought of it that way. And the massage, I never thought of it that way, that you might be the only person that's touching them for days, weeks, months.
For sure.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but it's true. I never thought of that because I do not have that problem. I have the
She's like,
exact
stop touching me.
opposite problem.
Opposite.
Last week, I was like, this
here we
is so
go.
funny. So in bed, I don't even know if we were in bed. Where were we? I reach out and I touch her leg. Mind you, this is at 6:17 in the morning. It's still dark. The dog is like ready to roll. I literally put my hand over a little bit and it touched her leg. And she goes, dude, read the room. I'm in a bad mood.
I did?
Yeah. And I was like,
I don't even remember that.
Okay. Read the room at 6:17
in the morning. I've been up since 5. He just racks there. I had gotten up, checked emails, which I know that's the worst thing to do.
That's on you, though.
I know. And it just sent me through the roof because of everything you already know. We already had this conversation. So it had nothing to do with you.
Well, I know, but still, I was there.
I know. Poor buddy. I'm sorry.
I think us men we're ready to go more in the morning than women in general. No,
I'm ready to go in the morning.
Really?
Yeah,
the morning's my fave.
Yeah, she's a morning person.
Okay.
I love the morning.
All right, because you're on testosterone.
I have to say, though, after all these...
No, I just got on testosterone.
After all these
Even
years, I
before
don't take it
testosterone.
personally anymore.
Yeah, that's so sweet. For years, he did take it
Well,
personally.
because it felt personal, but now I realize it's not personal. It's just you.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole nother podcast on that. Well, are we? Do you see that face?
Yeah.
You said we're doing a podcast on our relationship.
We are. We're doing that, yeah.
Okay.
People have lots of questions.
Back to chiropractic. When you train people, are you constantly scanning their bodies and thinking from a chiropractic mindset? Because what's so great about you, I said it a little bit in the beginning, but I really want to hone in this message. What's so great about you as a personal trainer and a massage therapist is that you are a chiropractor. So it's a little bit different because most chiropractors, at least that I know, they don't do massage and they don't do like massage like you do, like for well-being.
Right.
They might do like, okay, you need a little bit of work here, like
trigger point work.
Exactly. But you do like the real deal, just an amazing massage.
Thank you, because I'm a massage whore myself.
Okay.
And when I finally find somebody that is as good as me, I'm addicted to that person.
Same.
And I would rather have a phenomenal massage than sex. I've been saying that.
Why do we keep going?
I've been saying that for 40 years. You give me the best massage versus the best sex, I'll take the massage any day of the week.
Okay. I thought you said I like massage and sex.
No. More than sex.
Oh, okay.
If somebody had to say,
Right.
what would you rather have? I wouldn't even
massage.
hesitate. An
Really?
amazing massage.
Interesting.
Because I'm broken. I might look like a Ferrari on the outside, but I'm a VW on the inside.
I'm not even going to unpack that. That's for you and Lauren and your therapist. So I love that you are having that. I've always wanted to ask you that question. Like, is your chiropractic mind first, and you're training people and you're seeing where they are, and does that guide you into what you're going to do, or does every person get the same?
Great question. Every person I train, I view them as a patient first.
Yes.
And the first thing I notice is their posture, and then their postural strength. And then I work from there. And every exercise, that person better be perfectly ergonomically flat back, levers 90 degrees. And that's how I train people, ergonomically correct. And that's what I love about your class, is because you're so knowledgeable. Because most yoga teachers, they do the rah thing, but you're like a doctor in a yoga room. I listen to her every word, and I learn sometimes from her. And it's so incredible to have a yoga teacher, a fit teacher, to be as knowledgeable as anybody, because that's why I'm attracted to that type of class, and other people are too. Because, once you hear her mouth and her brain and stuff, you're drawn to that, because most people are rah, let's go, it's Sunday, let's hoot,
Yeah.
let's yell. That's great for energy.
Right.
But the real deal is, I love listening to education of the body, and you're doing it at the same time.
I also am obsessed with the body.
I can tell.
Any chance I get,
I can tell.
I'm Googling, I'm chat GPT now.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and some of that stuff you have to be mindful about. But I have always been such an anatomy junkie, and I think that's why I love talking to you and my other chiropractic friends and my other personal training friends. And I listen to tons of podcasts on the body, and I pick his brain. Although in med school, you don't learn so much about the anatomy stuff, but
anatomy you learn a lot about. Maybe not.
Not obviously,
works.
God, yeah. In the sense of exercise physiology.
Yeah, none of that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, I know that did not come out right. But I feel like it's also kind of a pastime for you to
for sure.
read about stuff and get to know your own body. And you had been obsessed for a while about figuring out how to create a lower dosis because
I have no acetol. You've heard that disease? No acetol?
No acetol.
Have no ass at all. Not anymore, though. Now I have some junk in the trunk because I've been working on it. I've been trying. Yeah.
Okay. I'll
But
have to see that later.
all posture, though, because I find that I'm like you said, like a C, like my hips are this way.
Yeah.
And it's just not that.
But at the end of the day, Paige says it all the time, you got to eat protein. These girls want to be skinny. That's still the fad. Yeah. And they don't understand what real health looks like, or a real sexy body looks like.
Agree.
It's sure doing the cardio, sure doing the sculpting. But at the end of the day, there's nothing like heavy, for women too, heavy weight training.
So I say that in my office literally every day, because my patients obviously are all women for the most part now, and a lot of them are going into perimenopause and menopause, and as they get to menopause, then the protein level needs to be even more because they're losing it every single day. Yeah, it's super important.
Why were people not talking about protein? Or is
I
this
find it's more now. I find it in the zeitgeist more now.
Why all of a sudden,
I was a fucking vegan for 25 years. Why did not one person tell me that's actually terrible for you?
Yeah.
Not one person.
I mean, it's hard to get the protein that way, but that's why you look that way too.
There's a girl I follow. Of course, she's a carnivore, so of course she's gonna poo-poo veganism. But she was also a vegan, so I like following people that they know what the vegan diet did to them. So I feel like I can speak on veganism because I was a vegan for 25 years. It's a very long time. It's a very long time. And it wreaked havoc on my body. And I'm still paying 8 years later. And it's frustrating because I wish somebody would have told me. So when people tell me that they're vegetarian and vegan, I just want to be, especially young people, I just want to be like, oh, okay, Just
Yeah.
talk to me in 10 years because you're going to be fucking shredded. Your body's going to be ruined.
I've seen such a transformation since your
Yeah.
carnivore diet
Yeah.
of the muscle mass
Same,
and
yeah.
the skin, the tightness of the skin, and just the overall look. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
It's been so, I'm just so grateful that Gabriella Lyons, she's an MD, but she's very, very into all these things that we talk about. And she was the first person that I had heard on her podcast a couple years ago talking about high protein. So do you find that people that eat higher protein have better adjustments? I know that's weird, but does diet have anything to do with how people adjust? And
That's a great question. I've never even thought about that. I think the people, especially the females that are like really skinny and brittle, I think that's the ones that don't eat a lot of protein. I think the people that eat a lot of protein, their muscles are nice and hydrated, their muscles are nice and thick. So it's just a much more pleasurable thing to work on versus just a brittle skeleton. And I think still women are still so hesitant to put calories, the right calories and the right amount of protein and lift the right amount of weights, because at the end of the day, it's still the media. Skinny is the best. Skinny is the best. And I don't get it nowadays, because I understand the Kardashians, they were the first ones. They helped a lot. They helped a lot. And now I think, women are, even when I go to gyms, I see women outnumber men in the weight
so
rooms.
Great.
I love that.
Oh yeah, and they love lifting weights. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Hopefully
Yeah,
that's
I
a
do.
trend now that's
Yeah.
that's starting better. That's good.
Yeah, I do fit like 4 days a week, and then I do yoga, of course, pretty much almost every day. And then I go to the gym twice a week. And I find that I've tried to do less fit and more gym, and nothing really shifted with the gains. So I prefer fit. Like if I could get everything out of fit, which I know I can't, because I know I have to push heavier than what I can get in fit. And I know also like bringing heavier weights into the class is not the answer either, because it's hot, you're sweating, it's just dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm finding now that that's a really nice balance for me, twice a week at the gym. And I do weights. I do weights. Of course I do weights. I do lower body in those 2 days. And then I get my upper body stuff at fit for the most part.
Yeah, like when you came to my gym,
Yeah.
I pushed you.
Yeah.
And your friend Danielle, I pushed her too. And it's intimidating at first. And you think, you look at this amount of poundage, I can't lift that, or I can't do a lot of reps. And having a good person, like a trainer, to force it and coach you up and tell you can do it, and
that was huge.
That was huge.
So I had been, I've been going to the gym I think it was a year in January. I went to the gym a lot in my 20s, and I was actually getting ready to compete in a bikini bodybuilding situation. My trainer's name was Joe, and then he ended up moving, and then I ended up, because I was such a yogi, I ended up falling off the rails there. And I was vegan, and I was in the gym like 2 to 3 hours a day, had a trainer. It was a cool experience. But so since then, I have only been doing my own, and I think I'm pushing. But when I had Hugh, first of all, he was like, with the leg press, he like pulled out the pin and went all the way. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing 210-pound leg press. Like, I'm just not doing that. When I go, I do like 130. And he was like, no. He put it on like 210. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to push that. He's like, let's go. And I could do it. And I was like, whoa, where I would have never, I went from 130 at the gym to 210, same machine at his gym, and I was shocked that I could do it. So that is the best thing about getting a trainer, is that they're going to choose the weight 100%. And they're going to push you in ways that I just would
like
never
when I go
myself.
to your class,
yeah.
I would never push myself to the max in a sculpt class, like a Fit 45.
Right.
But because of her and because of
there for.
That's bottom line.
Yeah,
bottom
exactly.
Line.
So what do you do to keep your physique? What's your weekly regime?
My new girlfriend loves to cook for me, so she's a great cook. So a lot of protein, vegetables, salads, fruits, and I'm a chocolate freak.
I'm just kidding.
I'm a chocolate freak, so I have to have my piece of chocolate at night, but pretty much a high protein, low carbs, decently low sugar, of course, no alcohol, a lot of water, and just basically a basic good diet.
Yeah, like real whole foods.
Real whole foods.
Yeah, that's how most of my friends eat, like real, just whole foods. Like, no, you're not doing Doritos. You're not doing,
no.
Yeah, of course.
Like for Super Bowl, like in a couple weeks, I'll probably order a pizza and pig out, but those are special occasions.
Exactly. I'll make us a carnivore pizza, babe.
Yes. I
It's
love
so
that.
good. It's like it's so good. I have to make it for you. I
love that.
It's Courtney Luna's recipe. It's not mine, but it's so good. So that covers your diet. As far as your like Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday, your routine for working out, what does that look like?
2 to 3 fit classes a week and 3 days of heavy lifting. I take one day off, which is football Sunday.
Okay.
But I lift heavy 3 times a week, and I do fit 3 times a week.
Okay. And you do yoga sometimes?
I do yoga, which
like
I
once
should.
a week.
Once a week. I should do it more because I'm 59. 59 is 59, so I need my flexibility a little better.
59 is 59.
Yeah.
Oh, Grandpa over there's putting his cardigan on while I'm fucking sweating all over this leather chair.
Grandpa.
Oh my God. So heavy lift 3 days a week, fit
3 times a week.
3 days a week, and then once a week yoga.
And then again, everybody asks me about, are you on testosterone? Are you on this? Are you on that? And I go, I'm on testosterone because, first of all, I went through male menopause around 40. It was called andropause. And medically, it was ridiculously low. So I've been on testosterone for about 15 years. And it's a game changer. It's just not everybody thinks, oh, dude, you're on testosterone because you want to fuck.
No.
It has nothing to do with that. It's all about feeling at your optimum level of wellness, of mental clarity, of your libido, of course, of, protecting your heart from heart attacks, from cancers. To me, every woman should be on a low dose of testosterone over around 40, 45, and every man, without a doubt, should be on testosterone over 45.
Yeah, it's been so great for me. And I'm new to it. I started it, it's been maybe 6 months, and I'm loving it. I notice the most for me with my anxiety. And interestingly enough, when I know that I might not know that I have an appointment coming up, but I'll notice my anxiety and I think to myself, oh, I wonder where I am in my pellet, because I do the pellets. They work really well for me. I know they don't work well for everybody, but for me it works. And I'll look on my calendar. I go, oh, that makes sense. Like, I'm feeling anxious again. And I was crippled with anxiety before I started. I battled with anxiety as a child and teenager and in my early 20s. I got completely better through yoga and fitness. And then hitting 40, it started really, really bad again. And the testosterone almost cleared that up completely. And she told me it would, the woman I go to. She told me that it would. And it's so interesting because when it starts to fade, that anxiety comes back and I think, oh, it's my hormones. My hormones are off. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, you look like that because you're taking testosterone. And I'm like, I don't think, what do you think when people say?
No, I mean, so I'll tell you, after going through this with you, it's so like eye-opening to see. And my patients in the office now too, they go through the same exact things that you go through. And when I do start them on it, they're 2 or 3 weeks later, they're like, I'm so excited that we did this.
Yeah.
And we really, as doctors so I graduated medical school in 98 and finished my residency in 2002. And right around that time, they came out with some studies that they said they didn't want us to do postmenopausal hormones anymore for women, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And we stopped doing, for most everybody, that because of a risk of heart attacks and strokes. Well, it turns out it was a flawed study and not the right thing. And now, just in the last 2 years or so, I say it's much more commonplace to do it. And I can't believe people don't do it.
Me either.
When they come in and they say
either.
these things to me, I'm like, I can tell you what you're going to say next. You have brain fog. You don't have a good libido. You've lost weight. You don't feel
100%.
good. You're dead inside. That's what my wife told
Dead
me.
inside.
Yeah, we're dead inside. It's
true.
I say
I'm
dead
literally
inside.
dead inside.
Yeah.
But the good news is, though, when you replace it, you're 100% right. It goes right back to where you're supposed to be.
Yes,
And I've
so
been on
great.
it now. I've been on testosterone. I had the same deal. I was monitoring my testosterone throughout my 30s and 40s, and I was always in the low side of normal, which I hate the word normal because how do you know what's really normal?
Same.
If they give you a range
Exactly.
from 300 to 1,000 for men, how do you know that if you're at 350, how do you know that's normal? Because what if I used to be at 900 and now I'm at 350? Now I'm at almost a third of what I was.
Yeah.
So long story short, I was under the 300 finally like 6 months ago, and I still didn't want to start it, and she didn't want me to start it. And so this doctor's like, listen, I
Wait,
think
I
it'll
didn't
really,
want you to start it?
You kept telling me, you're like, oh my God, you can't do that. Like what?
No. Oh my God, you're making me look bad
No,
today.
not in a bad way, but you didn't want my libido to go more than
I
it
was worried about the libido because he is like, again, let's cover the ears for the youngins. He's like a 15-year-old. So I was worried about the libido.
But I have to say, I don't think it's changed one bit.
No, it has not.
It hasn't. Nothing's changed.
If
And
anything, now that I'm on it, I'm able
you're like a
to
15-year-old
match
now.
your
Yeah.
energy
I need
more,
you,
and
yeah.
it's been great for us.
But what I do notice is that I sleep
It's been
better.
fun.
My dreams are better.
Yeah.
I dream, and my body heals and feels better.
Yeah, I know in a second when men mostly come up to me and they go, dude, what's your secret? And I look at them and they're tired and they're skinny and they're saggy and they have no life in them. I go, I bet you anything your testosterone level
Yeah.
is way too low. And they go, oh, really? I should get it checked. I said, get it checked, get on testosterone. You'll thank me.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It started becoming more mainstream for guys like 5 or 6 years. Like I know a lot of people have always been on it, but it became more mainstream when we had there were some golfers and some other athletes that said it was called low T, and
Low T.
and they started using those guys as the bellwether and saying like these normal people do it. And then he's right. It's like if you give it to a guy that's like that, all of a sudden they feel so much better within weeks.
They get their
Yeah.
life back.
Yeah.
If men and women are listening to this and are interested in testosterone, they can go to you, right?
Absolutely.
Or not men?
No, both. I'm doing everybody. I'm
Okay.
taking care of everything.
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah. So you can talk to him about that.
Yeah.
So, any final words on how to get people to sit better, to train better? Like if somebody's working out right now and listening to this and they're not seeing the results because they are in pain, if they live here, they can come to you, and Channing can put how can people find you? How can people find you on Instagram?
Mostly on Instagram.
Okay.
Body by Hugh, BODYBY Hugh, HUGH, and all my information's there. Direct message me.
Okay, good. And people can come to you to work out.
They can come to me. I live right on the Riverwalk on Las Olas.
Yeah, he has a great gym.
And as Paige, I want you back next week.
I'll be there.
My gym is like Equinox.
I want to go this week.
I like the trainer part, and I like that you do the videos for her so that I can see it afterwards. Yeah.
But
God.
it's a phenomenal gym. It's huge.
Oh, I
and
forgot to
has-
tell you. Michael was like, "What is that gym? Where does Hugh go when he posts?" I go, "Oh, that's at his building." He goes, "Oh, can I become a member there?" I go, "No, you have to
so
live
cute.
there." He was so cute. I said,
Anytime.
I said that. I said,
Anytime.
Hugh, you should go train with Hugh.
100%. I would love to. Probably out, show me off. But at the end of the day, women's currency is their looks. It'll never change. Am I right? A woman's
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
currency in general is their looks. A man's currency is their money. I want everybody to go 50-50 and say, my currency is my health, my wellness, what I look like outside, what I look like on the inside. So the combination of balancing your hormones, your training, your flexibility, your yoga, meditation, being being so grounded and quiet in your mind, it's work. It's constant work every day. People think, oh, I'll start January 1st and I'll start this. No, you gotta fucking live it every
day.
You live it every single second. Everybody that's, getting results lives it every single day. It's there's no magic. There's no magic
It's
pill.
consistency, like you said earlier. That's if you want me to tell you there's a magic pill, yes, and it's called consistency.
Consistency.
Repetition.
My slogan is commitment to excellence. It's easier to stay well than to get well.
Yep. My grandmother
that's a
used
big
to
one.
say that all the time. The best way to stay in shape is to not get out of shape.
Bottom
That's what
line.
she used to tell me.
Bottom line.
I love that.
And there's nothing more gratifying is to, look in the mirror and go, God, all that hard work is
it
paying
feels
off.
so good.
It's paying off in the kitchen. It's
It
paying
feels
off
so
in the
good.
mirror, everything.
It feels so good. So I forgot to ask this question. Every person I've asked that's been on the podcast, and with Barb and with Kelly, I forgot to ask because I was so into and then I said, I'm not going to forget with you. So if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Rob from the rich, give to the poor.
Oh,
Like Robin Hood.
I love that.
I love
So
the
legalize stealing. That's what
I've always loved because I'm very compassionate. I'm like
Yes.
Channing's twin brother.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a very kind soul, very compassionate soul. And with the fires in LA, with the homeless everywhere, with, kids with cancer, it kills me. And I would love if I had a superpower to make every underdog that's going through a ton of shit health-wise or financially or whatever, make their lives unbelievable.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad you were here. And I love how Hugh just raw dogs it sometimes. That's what I love about you.
He's the best.
And I love you too, babe. And thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Watch Me Grow. We'll see you next time.